I'm going to be doing a quick comparison of the Invicta 9401 compared to the Rolex Explorer 2, which does belong to my father, and I believe it's a 1990s model, somewhere around there, early 90s model, and it's currently not running at the moment, as you guys can see, since it does need a tune. It has not been worn in a long time, so yeah. Let's get on with the comparison. Looking at the dial, these are fixed dials, and they look about the same to me. Since the Rolex is a little bit older, it does have more wear on the dial itself compared to the uh, 9401, which I just got a week ago and is currently a brand new watch that I've only worn for about a week, so there's no wear whatsoever on the watch. And let's go ahead and talk about the dial. The dial on the 9401 compared to the Explorer is a little bit, as you guys can see on the edges, isn't as close to the crystal as it is on the Rolex. So yeah, and let's go ahead and talk about the movement. The Explorer 2 by Rolex is a automatic movement which I believe requires winding or winding. I'm not too familiar with that, but on the 9401 it is a quartz movement which requires a battery, and the only difference I really noticed in the second hand, as you guys can see there on the 9401, it has sort of a different arrow style second hand than it does on the Rolex. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it has a circle. I wish they would have made it a automatic watch. That would have been better, or at least put the same hand that it has on the Rolex on the 9401. And the minute hand is a little bit thicker on the 9401 than it is on the Rolex, as you guys can see there. And the hour hand is about the same. And as you guys can see there, you have the Mercedes logo, and it's exactly the same on the Rolex. And you do have the GMT hand, as you guys can see there, because the Invicta 9401 is a GMT watch also. And let's go ahead and talk about the Cyclops. As you guys can see here on the 9401, that it does tell the date also, which is amazing for the price of this watch. And as you guys can see there, you can perfectly see the date, and I believe the amount of magnification is the same as it would be on a Rolex, which is about 2.5. As you guys can see there, you have no problem seeing it. And on the Rolex, it's about the same thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and flip these watches over and talk about the bracelet. I did notice that on the Rolex that the bracelet is just a little bit smaller. They're almost about the same thing, but the links are just a little bit bigger on the 9401, but they're basically the exact same size, and they are brushed, sort of that brush feeling, and you can't really tell the difference, but there is more wear on the Rolex's bracelet due to the age of the watch, but they're practically identical. And let me go ahead and show you. On the 9401, it does say Invicta on the right side, and the Rolex does not say Rolex on the right side. So yeah, that's basically all there is to it. I don't really mind the Invicta, to be quite honest. Let me go ahead and show you guys the clasp, or let me close the clasp. You have to click the clasp first. As you guys can see there, you have Invicta's clasp, compared to the Rolex one. So yeah, oh, just to mention that this watch has been sized to fit my really small wrist, so I apologize if you can't really tell the difference, but I do have a small wrist. And this one has been sized, but not as much as the 9401 by Invicta has been. So yeah, and when you weight the Rolex compared to the 9401, the Rolex does weigh just a little bit more. It is noticeable when you do carry the watch, but yeah. So this has just been a quick review of the 9401 compared to the Explorer 2 by Rolex. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Thanks.